this microphone really is super nice.
Good.
Yeah. I was listening to my trial run and it sounded so good.
Yeah, I know. So our viewers, Mom, hi, may notice a large improvement to our audio quality on Chrissy's end.
This was the one piece of advice from our listeners that we did take, which
We
was
didn't take it. We heard the feedback and then we thought of it ourselves. And we did.
It confirmed what we had already been thinking.
It was already on the list, and that just reminded us of what we already knew. So then we decided to make an investment.
And here we are with good sounding audio.
Yes, normally you wait until you have fans who will pay you money somehow via Patreon or a subscriber, and then you use that money to invest in the equipment. But since I'm the biggest fan of Bookalicious, I decided I would make that initial investment.
Candy's just getting the ball rolling.
I'm just putting some money in the tip jar.
Look at how much the quality improved with just one donation.
One small donation of $50. And we're just kidding. There's no way for you to give us any money, so don't worry about it.
But if you want to, we can.
This isn't OnlyFans.
Oh my gosh.
How are they going to just send us money? They're going to send us an email, a Venmo. Oh, okay.
It was a reasonable follow-up thought.
You know what? I guess that is a very normal suggestion. Sorry, I took it to a weird place. I didn't mean
it. Have you seen those cars when it's like someone's 21st birthday and they're like, send me money on PayPal or whatever, like at this username? I'm like,
I've never seen that.
Really? I guess you live in I was gonna say ritzy Atlanta. You just live in not college Atlanta.
That was exactly what I was gonna say. That I live across the street from the burbs, like the rich side of town. I'm not there, but if I put on binoculars, I can see it. So any of the children that are driving by, they are probably in a car that's 10 times nicer than me, and I should be asking them for money.
So maybe you could put it on your car.
Oh my God, they'd see it. I'd be like, honk for donations or send me money for an oil change. You should put that on your car. Your car got stolen and then returned. They said it's not even worth it. Couldn't sell it. Don't know what to do with it. We're going to give it back.
They're like, this is more problems than it's worth. It actually, the police found it while the person was driving it. But you're right. They weren't being very sneaky if it was found.
Oh, well, maybe they were like, the owner's not looking for this.
They're like, please take this away from me.
What if you had a cursed car and it was causing them all these problems and they didn't know it was like the car, but they stole it and then all of these bad things started happening to them?
I mean, as it should. I think my car is kind of magical. But it's magical for me. So you're right. It would be a curse for anyone else.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to have a flat tire. I'm going to need an oil change 10 times or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my car is a car that'll never die. So she's just always going to run. But she does have all of her lights come on frequently. But
just like
you just know that's just how she is.
Dance party in your car.
Yeah.
All the lights strobing. Put some EDM music on. The smoke starts billowing. It's like a smoke
from the engine.
Yeah, from the engine. And it's like you're in like a dance smoke screen.
That's what it's like every day with Guinevere. You know what the worst thing is? I was telling Sky, our 12-year-old niece, I was like, yeah, this is my car, Guinevere. And she was like, oh, that may make sense. Because that's the name of the old beat up car in the movie Onward. And I said, what? And I had no idea. I came up with the name Guinevere before the movie came out.
They probably saw you. Chris Pratt was like, I saw this dumpy car with strobing lights and billowing smoke. And this girl comes out and her hair is all over the place, but still looks okay somehow. And she called her car, she tapped it, and she said, "Good job, Guinevere." And then he ran to his production team and he said, "Guys, I have an idea." That's probably how the movie started.
It probably was. Maybe he's the one who stole my car. He said, "I just need to know what this car is all about."
Oh my God. What do they call that? Method acting?
Oh my gosh. He needed to be one with an old beat up car, so he stole Guinevere.
Yeah, he's like, I really want to get into this part. He was actually very good in that movie.
I didn't even realize he was in that movie. What did he do?
He was the guy who owned Guinevere.
Oh. Okay, I only watched like half of the movie. So I honestly don't really know it that well.
What was it called? Not How to Tame a Dragon.
What? Onward.
Onward. I forgot what it was called.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in there? Is that Elaine?
Yeah, that's Elaine.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, I should watch this movie.
It was good. I liked it. Although it's like the protagonist, he's just this really annoying teenager where you're like, why are you so mean to your dopey brother? You know,
Cool.
Sorry your dad died. Like, it doesn't give you an excuse to be a jerk to your dopey brother.
Sorry.
That was kind of how I felt the whole movie.
XOXO Ted.
Yeah, XOXO Ted.
Well, I mean that's pretty rough.
So we have a mixed bag of news for Bookalytics. We won't do a full dive, but I think we should just hit the international highlights.
Because we have multiple at this moment.
Well, so we had been giving a lot of praise to our UK listener. And then I realized you could see who was listening to what episode. And I found out our UK listener, who was our favorite fan for a long time, had only listened to half of episode 1 and then never to return. So they cannot be our favorite listener anymore. But the universe heard us. And Chrissy, I'll let you break the news.
Well, it was very exciting. All at one moment, we had 8% of our listeners were from Slovakia.
Wow.
What? How did they find us? I don't know.
We don't know, but now they are our number one. And I hope that they listen all the way till now to get that praise. Because the UK person, I mean, we were really stroking their ego, and they'll never know.
Never. Maybe they'll come back.
Yeah, maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll see that Slovakia is getting so much praise that
they're winning the Bookalicious Olympics. The Book Olympics.
Yes.
A new segment for our podcast. Which country has her favorite fan?
Yes. Yeah, right now it's Slovakia. So Chrissy is married into a Czech Slovakian family.
That's true. Yeah. So this is our theory of how the Slovakian fan came to know us, is that I got married last year and my husband's family is Czech. And at our wedding, we did all of the Czech things. Well, we did like 2, but one of them was this whole Czech march, the Grand March, where we walk around, and we walked outside, and it was everybody in the entire wedding and all of the guests just walked around downtown Waco. And it was a great time. Anyways, but we think this sent the magical, I don't know, messengers to Slovakia, and now we're getting like goodwill in return.
Oh, I thought the theory was that it was someone that is one of your family members there.
Oh, I don't know if there is any family in Slovakia. I mean, definitely no one who was at the wedding.
No one at the wedding. No, this would just be someone whose ears were burning and they were like, you know what? I want to listen to a podcast 100% in English from 2 little girls about a book called Elantris for 12 hours.
To become 8% of our listenership, they had to have listened to a substantial number of episodes.
Yeah. If you pop into the episodes, I think they've probably listened to every single one.
I think so, honestly.
So we're really excited about them.
Yeah,
So
new favorite fan
new favorite fan, UK.
next to mom.
Yes, yes. Slovakia, then mom, love you, but she hasn't listened to all the episodes. And UK, if you come back, you can still have a spot. We don't have enough fans
In our
to
top
be
10.
too. Yeah.
We thought we'd also have an exciting announcement that we'd have 100 listens by the time we're recording this, but we're only at 96. So stay tuned for next week.
Yep. And I try to artificially inflate that number. I did listen a few more times, but I
I
really
do
couldn't.
also.
As our number one fan, I couldn't get us to the top. So I'm sorry, guys.
That's true.
Sorry, me.
Candace is actually our number one fan. She's already donated to the Patreon before it existed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, good session of Bookalytics.
Yeah. So we have a very audacious goal today.
Yeah. 3 times the number of chapters we've done in any other episode.
Yes. And we only wasted 15 minutes doing Bookalytics. So we're in a good start.
Strong start. And a lot happens in these chapters. So I don't know, could either be good or bad for our speed.
I think we're going to get through it. So our goal is to finish part 2.
Right.
And then that really kind of just leaves a little piece left, and then Elantris will be done.
What? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my gosh, what are we going to do after?
Well, we're ahead of our published stuff by probably like 7 episodes. So we have at least 7-week runway to come up with another book. Maybe we'll do a poll and ask me and the Slovakian what we want to do.
We might get something written in Czech as the suggestion.
As long as it could be translated, I would do it for our number one fan.
For them, anything.
For them, anything. Yes, I agree.
Okay, all right. So we need to get on with our audacious plan. So,
I agree.
We haven't done our intro.
Oh shoot. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Here we are. Welcome to Bookalicious, an episode. Oh no, a podcast where 2 sisters chat.
Start over.
What?
You're gonna have to cut this out. Start over.
This is the authentic us.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well,
fine.
now I've ruined it. So now you definitely have to start over.
Okay, fine. Welcome to Bookalicious, a podcast where 2 sisters chat about books we're reading. I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Candace.
And today we have our audacious plan of going through, I think is it 10 chapters? No, it's like 6 chapters.
It's 6. We can do it.
We can do it. Anyway, 6 chapters of Elantris, starting with chapter 49. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Okay, so chapter 49 is from Raoden's perspective, and this chapter is called Te, which means open. I know, isn't that interesting? And my thought when I read the chapter title was, does this mean the Aeon door will be opened?
Oh, smart.
Whoa.
Now, Chrissy, I will let you know that you're sharing your screen so I can see all of your notes. Maybe that's okay, but I feel like it wasn't a surprise for me because I had already read it.
Oh man, you didn't get the full surprise of how smart I was.
I already saw all of your insight, and I'm gonna steal some of it.
Oh,
and pretend that it's mine.
It's okay. I had enough notes in this chapter to share.
Okay, good. Well, I think that's a really intuitive insight. I think that's probably correct. That's what I would think too.
Right? Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so summary for this chapter is Raoden learns more about drawing aeons and what's blocking the aeon door from flowing through the aeons. And he learns how to make the aeons work better, but they're still not back 100% because they can't target Elantrians, but they can target other things. So working better, but not totally there. But we find out at the end that Raoden uses his new knowledge to use Aeon Sheo. Do you know what that one means?
Transform.
Yeah. Well, did you see that in my notes?
No, I didn't see that one. But it's Shayod, and I remember we talked about the Rayod, and
Oh.
it's the Eod part, and it means transform.
Oh, wow. Oh, very
Hmm.
good.
That's what happens when you listen to every episode of Bookalicious 2 times. You remember these things. They
You
come
learned the
to
whole
you.
Aeon alphabet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so they use Aeon Sheo, which does mean transform, to figure out how Raoden and Galadin can get out of Elantris.
Hmm. Yes.
Jam-packed episode.
So the first line that I highlighted was the very first sentence.
Oh, I underlined that too.
Because you bought the book now.
Now I bought it. Look at all the things I'm writing in it now. I
Wow. Okay.
know.
Why did you underline it?
Maybe for the same reason you underlined it.
Okay, all right. I'll share first. So the line says, "At first Raoden stayed away from the library because it reminded him of her, Sarene. Then he found himself drawn back to it because it reminded him of her." Cringe or cute?
Oh, I thought it was cute.
I thought it was cute too.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's why I underlined it.
I know. It was cute. I'm a fan of Raoden and Serene's relationship.
Yeah.
All the suspense is building of like, oh, well, when will they finally meet?
Raoden does kind of get on my nerves halfway
Really?
through this segment. Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have hot takes. Don't you worry, Boo.
Okay, all right. So when's your first hot take? Because
It's in a couple chapters.
oh, in a couple chapters.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
okay.
let you know when we get there.
Okay. All right. So most of my notes came later in the chapter, but there was this one thing pretty early on where Sarene is still bringing them supplies. Oh, and her Seon Ian, no, Ash. Her Seon
Ash.
Ash has been dropping by and is like giving them updates on what's going on outside of Elantris. And so now
Mm-hmm.
Raoden's like, oh gosh, now I need to worry about what's going on in the kingdom too, because now I like have 24-hour news and like that's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
But we also learned that Sarene is still giving them supplies. But there's this line where Galadin is like, oh yeah, they're gonna bring the supplies tonight. And Raoden asks, did Ash say if Sarene would come herself? And Galadin says, same stipulations as before. So we learn that Sarene's bringing, or someone is bringing these supplies, but Sarene doesn't want them to know who. So the rule is that the Elantrians can only go get the supplies after that deliver person has left.
Isn't that insane?
Who is it? I think it's weird too.
I don't remember if they ever say who it is. I have no idea.
Oh, this isn't even an important plot point.
I'll be honest, when I read it the first time and I got here, I had done such a bad job remembering all the names that I was. Have you ever done like the inner tube thing where you have the speedboat and you're hanging on to like the
Oh,
little float? I
yeah.
was like, I was in the water and my hand was on the float, but they were speeding down the lake. That was my understanding. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. So I was reading, but I was not knowing many things.
I think that's really fair. I would be in the same boat too if we hadn't been doing this PhD in Elantris.
Yeah. So I really don't remember. So who do you think it is?
I don't know. I was thinking that too. I was like, would it be one of the people in the boys' club, like Royal or Shuden or something? Because like Shuden and Ian Dell had been to Elantris to like help her before. That could maybe make sense. Um, I don't know who else would be because who else does Serene really trust? Or is it Serene herself and she just doesn't want to see Raoden because maybe she's like, oh no, it's better if we're separate because otherwise I want to go back to Elantris. That could be possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking one of the boys' clubs too. I was thinking maybe Shuden. He seems like he'd be the sneakiest.
With this Tai Chi.
Yeah. Now, maybe what it is not so much that Sarene doesn't want the Elantrians to know who the courier is, but she doesn't want the courier to know about the Elantrins.
Oh, you know what? That makes a lot more sense.
That does make a lot more sense, but I think this kind of pinpoints one of my like irritations with this whole segment is Sarene and Raoden not communicating what
Yeah,
they're doing and just doing stuff.
it would be so easy.
To just say, I don't want them to know who you are. So we're going to have a drop off point. Like that to me is like what a normal person would do.
Yeah, yeah, that comes up a lot in these few chapters. It's just like, ugh, you're so close.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if that's like lazy writing on Sanderson's part or like cliche or
I
it
feel, mhm.
I just feel like you kind of have to suspend a little bit of belief in these next few segments.
Yeah. Um, I mean, maybe because if it doesn't come up again, maybe it's not an important plot point. Maybe the whole idea Sanderson is trying to get across is that like Raoden wants to see Sarene and he's not able to. The end,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
I think so. But I did underline that part because I was like, who is this? Why are they
Right.
being this way? This is weird.
Yeah, that is weird. So, but either way, Raoden is still head over heels for Sarene, and I still think
Mm-hmm.
it's cute.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so then this next part is when so Raoden's been trying to practice these aeons and it's not working. And then he has this whole epiphany moment where he's like, hey, these are based off of the land. And when the Rayad occurred, which is when Elantris fell, there was a giant earthquake, and that made a whole chasm open up in the land. And so now there's a big crack. And he's like, maybe that's the missing piece in all these
Mm-hmm.
aeons. So then he starts drawing them, and now the base structure is normal Erelon, but then he draws a whole strike through it, which is the chasm. And now they start working.
Yes. And so the one of the lines was he said, what if the earthquake came just before the Rayad? It caused the crack to the south, and suddenly all the aeons were invalid. They all needed an extra line to function. All of Aendor and therefore Elantris would have fallen immediately. So there's a couple things that come to mind. Is first, I thought this was very clever of Sanderson because everyone thought it was A then B.
Mm-hmm.
No one thought to flip it. I didn't think to flip it. I was surprised by this.
Yeah.
So that was A. And then the second thing is, I think we had talked about before, where the Elantrians, they didn't tell anyone how their magic worked. And so after the fall of Elantris, if you had like the regular people and they knew, oh, the magic is based on how the land is shaped, then they could say, oh, we had this huge earthquake happen. Maybe that's part of the issue. And I think they would have been able to debug and fix Elantris before things went crazy.
Did the Elantrians not know? Because why couldn't the Elantrians fix it?
I'm thinking the Elantrians didn't know that the earthquake happened.
Really? Was it far away?
Or they didn't know that it caused this huge rift in the earth. Yeah. Because you have to
Oh.
think it's like way down there. It's miles and miles away.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden you turn into this zombie and you're like, what's happening? What's happened? And then the regular people who are healthy, they could have been like, oh my God, there's like this huge earthquake. Like, let's let Elantris know because the land shape has changed. And then they could have telephoned it up.
Oh. Man.
I mean, I don't know if that would have happened, but I feel like if everyone knew the secret, then, or at least more people knew the secret.
Right. Okay, this makes me think of two things. One is I feel like this whole book is coming down to all of these the book would have been shorter if they knew how to communicate. Because it seems like all of these
Yes.
problems would have been fixed if people just knew how to talk to each other and plan together. So that's one thing. But the second thing is Serene's tutor or whoever when she was growing up, that was her trick, was like, oh look, it looks like the shape of Erelon, which I feel like was coming from her knowing that that was important. Like, I don't think you'd probably just pick that up, I would think. So then my question is, how does she know?
Yeah, maybe
Was she
I guess that's a good point. No, I think I don't know how that would fit into my theory then. maybe if I'm stretching now that I'm thinking about it, maybe people knew that's what like the Aeons looked like, but they didn't realize that's where the magic came from specifically.
Yeah, that could make
Whereas the Elantrians knew specifically it's coming from the land itself, which
sense.
I think they would know because the further you get away from Elantris, the weaker their power gets.
Yeah. Do we ever get an origin story for Elantris?
No, Sanderson's supposed to come out with Elantris Part 2.
Oh my gosh, that's what we're reading next.
Oh my God, no.
70
I mean,
episodes.
this book was written 15 years ago, so he's got a lot in the pipeline. But Elantris Part 2 is supposed to come out at some point. So will it be a prequel or a postquel? I don't know. Sequel. Yeah. Yeah.
We would have gotten there.
I would have gotten there. Okay. I was like saying it. I'm like, this is not right. I know there's a word for it, but here we go.
Well, okay, we need to send him this podcast and I'll say, oh my gosh, there's so much interest. People in Slovakia are interested in Elantris. And then
Trust me,
we'll get on that.
Brandon Sanderson knows so many people want to read his books. He went to his publisher and he was like, publish this book. And they're like, no, we don't want to do it your way. And he said, okay, I'll just start my own publishing company. So then he started a GoFundMe and he said, hey guys, if you want me to write these books during COVID, just send me some dollars and I'll write it. And he raised millions of dollars.
Really?
So much so that he was like, okay, well, this is enough for me. And then he donated a lot of the extra money for like other aspiring authors to help them get published.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Sanderson knows the people want to read.
Man, okay. Well, maybe we can somehow push Elantris too up on his priority list.
I think so. Well, we'll see. Maybe.
We'll see where Bookalicious goes.
Yeah, but I think that whole little thing, it just goes to that same thread that we saw in the beginning of the book, where you have people underestimating each other, not trusting each other, trying to be secretive about what they're doing, lack of communication, to your point, and it causes all of these problems for them.
Yeah. And now here we are.
World's
going to end on tax day.
Tax day is coming. So then Raoden, he realizes, oh, you just add the line. And then he was getting like these, how I imagine it, and I guess how the book kind of posits it, is that the Aeon door, the magic, was trying to bust its way out of Raoden. And it kept like pushing on his body and being like, I'm going to use you as the portal. And then once Raoden finally wrote the Aeon the correct way, it all just exploded out of him. And then he produced this really powerful Aeon. And then
which just so happened to be fire.
Yeah, which he picked a fire one, and then he burned up the whole biology section of his special library.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were not fazed by that. They were like, oh, who needs biology?
I know. I wonder, because Sanderson was like, what kind of major was he? Wasn't he like chemistry or something before English?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was just kind of like a subtle, like, kind of like a joke, science joke,
that would be interesting if he was like, I'm in the library and he's Raoden. And maybe it's like his passion is pounding on Sanderson, knocking on the door, trying to come out. And he's resistant. And finally he's like, you know what? I'm just going to write the book. I'm going to be an author now. And then it busts out and then it blows down the biology section, his old life. And now he's in the library and he's doing his new life as Raoden.
Wow. That's interesting.
We'll have to look in his notes because he does notes on stuff like this. I wonder if he would write something like that.
Oh, cool. That'd be interesting if you extended the analogy and was like, Raoden's trying to find his purpose, and maybe Sanderson was trying to find his purpose as a chemist or biologist or whoever, and he's like, this isn't working. And then he finds the thing, and he's like, this is it.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Could be. That might be too far, but
it might be, but I don't know. I think sometimes even if the author didn't intend something, um, maybe subconsciously there's something there.
Right. Right. It could still fit. Okay, and then the other key thing here is that now that the door has finally busted through Raoden, he's not going to get all those terrible attacks anymore. So that's really good. Good day for him.
Yeah, so he's definitely feeling safe because I guess it was like building up all of the magic because he tried to do it again and it was just very wimpy.
Right. Right. So that was like all the magic that's been pent up for like 10 years or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
now we're seeing like, okay, it kind of worked and it's working a little bit better now that we have the slash for the chasm, but it's still not where it was. Like it's not 100% still.
Yeah. Yeah. But Galadin and Raoden, they see it and they're really excited. And so Galadin's like, try a healing one, try and fix me. And I found that shocking because I remember Raoden saying earlier that the healing ones are so dangerous. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you can kill somebody. Or in one of his examples, you turn someone into an Elantrian.
Good point. I didn't
But
think
he
about
said,
that.
I don't care. I'm going to try it anyway.
Was he trying just like a simple healing one, maybe?
I think it was like a very no. He said he added a okay. Raoden started tracing Aeon Ian in the air. This is the healing one. He added a modification stipulating Galadin's body as the target, as well as 3 power increasing marks. He finished with the small chasm line. Is it chasm or chasm?
I think it's chasm.
I think it's chasm. I don't know how to read. The Aeon flashed briefly, then disappeared. And it didn't work. But it's like he used 3 power increasers.
Right.
His first time.
He's like, I did this once. I think it should be good.
He like watched all of House MD. He's like, I'm a doctor. You have amyloidosis. I'm going to cut you open. I'm going to cut the cancer out. Like, you're fine now.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, also, how does he know how long to make the chasm line? Chasm line? Because if it's that specific, I'm kind of amazed that he got it on the first try.
Well, he didn't get it on the first try. I think
Oh,
he did have to try it a few times. Yeah, he tried
yeah,
it one time, then he tried it another time, and it almost sounds like the magic itself had been waiting for Raoden to fix it. And this is another point that I had thought of and I forgot to mention is that it kind of sounded to me like the magic had chosen Raoden and like this is a guy who's going to read a book and he's going to solve the problem. So I'm going to make his life living hell so that it's life and death. Like like, you know what I'm saying? Like all of the charges, the Aeon power charges that were causing him so much pain, it created very high stakes for him to find resolution very quickly.
right.
And so then when he was drawing the Aeon where it got fixed, he kind of felt like the magic was taking over him. So I like to think that maybe it was kind of helping him figure out those last little tweaks.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's right. Because yeah, that was my other question of like, why was it trying to go through Raoden? And I think you're right. It's probably something like that, which maybe is what the origin story would be. Maybe we should have an origin story. And
Yes.
the Aeon door somehow existed and was like, I need to go through somebody. And then there was like the first person who was able to make it all work.
Yes. So this book is part of the 16 book epic.
That's a
This
lot
is
of
just one
Bookalicious
piece.
episodes.
It's a lot of Bookalicious episodes. Yeah, because this is the shortest one of them all.
Oh my gosh.
I know we won't be doing those. But once we're done with it, I'll tell you a little bit about the broader scope and how this fits in.
Okay.
But I don't want to say it now because I don't want to get us too derailed. And I think there might be spoilers in there.
Ooh.
Possibly.
Okay. Cool. Okay, but back to Galadin's healing thing. So yeah, so he tries to do a dangerous healing thing, but it doesn't work. And we find out that it doesn't work because the Aeons can't target Elantrian bodies. And Raoden thinks it's because they're still frozen. He says they're frozen in the middle of being changed. And so whatever's like keeping their bodies from changing is preventing the Aeon door to do any like modifications or healing on the Elantrians. But they can still target inanimate things like shirts or I guess the air when he's making fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that still works.
Yeah. So he's basically saying, like, because they're basically in the middle of an Aeon process, them changing from a person to an Elantrian, he says, until our transformation is finished, it appears that no Aeons can affect us. So, like, if you imagine you're running a program on your computer and it's eating up all of your processing power, and then you try to make it run something else, and it's like, I have to finish this first one, and then I'll go to the next one.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be interesting if they get cured and then all of a sudden all these like, yeah, when you hit like the print button 15 times and then all of a sudden you get all of these Aeons, so they just like explode through and you have like 45 pieces of paper and you're like, oh my God.
Galadin would be like, healed, fire, healed again, transform. It's like the genie when he was going through all of his different shapes trying to find the right steed for Aladdin.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, which brings us to the next part, which Raoden's like, okay, well, I can't target our bodies, but I can target my shirt. And he does the transform Aeon, Sheo, onto his shirt to make his whole body look like he's been healed and like a totally different person.
Yes. So basically what I imagine is it's just like a hologram that sits on top of him. So it's just an illusion. And part of you is kind of might feel like, oh, that feels unbelievable. How could he figure this out so quickly? But I think he's been studying so much. It's like one of those things where you have all of the pieces together and then you just needed this one thing. And then all of a sudden you just take off.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I didn't think that part was unbelievable. I guess I could see how it is. I feel like there's things coming up in the next few chapters where I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That happened already? Part of me is like, maybe Sanderson was like, geez, already on page 466. Gotta get a move on.
Yeah, he's like, I spent way too long taking Sarene to parties.
Raoden's just been crippled and suffering in Elantris the whole time.
Maybe he had like a publisher date and he was really like running out of time, like SAT when you're like doing like the essay thing and then you spend all this time making a great intro and then you're like, wow, I have 10 minutes to write the rest. And you speed through to the end.
Have you seen those memes with the let me draw it up. Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you first and then I'll explain it. Or I'll say it so people can hear. Have you seen this meme before?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
It's a meme where they're drawing a horse, so the first part looks like stunning and so detailed and perfect. And then it says when you have 5 minutes left to finish the exam, and the rest is like a stick figure horse.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly it.
That's so funny. So anyway, so maybe that was part of it too. He was like, all right, gotta get this done by Wednesday. Raoden's just gonna figure it out real quick.
Yeah, he's not gonna spend 10 weeks. And that's the other thing too, is that in terms of Sanderson's timeline, we're coming down to the wire because it's been 5 days since Sarene has left and we're in the final month.
Right.
So now we're in the final 3 weeks.
Whoa.
So
it's coming down.
Yeah. That's all I had for chapter 49.
Okay, yeah. I think those are most of my things. One of my predictions was that the shape of the Aeon wasn't going to be the chasm. I was thinking maybe since I guess this wouldn't make sense, but since he and Sarene are married, that maybe Teod was part of the shape. That they're like countries. Yeah, that wouldn't make sense though with the 10 years ago Elantris falling.
Yeah, I could see where your mind is going there. If you're under the assessment that you're like, Raoden's the chosen one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he let's just say maybe how the magic works is it picks somebody and it's like, you're the king who knows all the magic stuff.
Yeah.
So I could see that, but no, it's wrong.
That's wrong. Cross it off the bingo sheet. Okay, all right. Chapter 50. This is also called Tay, which means open. And now we're in Sarene's perspective. And summary for this chapter is that Sarene is out of Elantris and she's back to her regularly scheduled programming. She's trying to figure out what Telri and Hrathen are up to. And we're noticing that the doomsday of the Dorethi priests is nigh. Things are feeling a little bit weird in Erelon, but everyone's trying to act like it's all okay and like nothing's going to happen. So Sarene goes to fencing practice to try to, work off some stress, but then a mystery man appears. And of course, we know it's actually Raoden and Galladin. And Sarene's like, something's fishy here. So she challenges Raoden, who's in disguise, to a duel to expose him as a fake. But Raoden is able to find a clever way out of it. Okay, so one of the first things that I highlighted here, I think it's pretty in the beginning of the chapter, is that we learn that Telri, I think Sarene is like, how did Telri even get to this place? Like, he's so dumb. How did he become so successful? And we learn that Telri actually inherited his brother's wealth.
I underlined that.
Okay, my thought is, what if Telri killed his brother or somehow made the Shayad take him?
That's exactly what I thought too.
Whoa.
And maybe he was like, let me get rid of my brat daughter while I'm at it.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like,
Carmelita.
Yeah, Carmelita. Yeah, we think he already knocked Carmelita off. So he somehow had this power somewhere along the way. I think he maybe did that to his brother too. That makes sense.
I could definitely see that. And if Sanderson writes another book, it would be interesting if he wrote about that. If that somehow got like picked in there somehow.
Yeah. I think that could make sense. Telri is pretty awful, we find out.
Yeah, so we find out, we thought Royal was a creep, but then we find out that Telri is even creepier.
So now that creepy?
Yes. And I have the line ready to go.
Show me your proof.
Okay. So Sarene asks Ash, what is Telri doing? His Majesty is quite busy lounging in his palace while half of Arlon's nobility waits outside, the Scion said with a disapproving tone. Here it is. I believe his largest current complaint is that there aren't enough young women left on the palace staff.
Oh, that's right.
Because I hadn't killed them all.
Oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I forgot about that line.
Which #me2, you shouldn't be hitting on your staff.
Or sacrificing them.
Sacrificing them. Yeah. That I don't think the sacrificing part made it to the Me Too umbrella, but that is included. That's included.
Just the standard.
Just standard. Yeah. Don't sacrifice your women employees to hurt other women.
Or for other purposes.
Or for other purposes, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, so Telri is a creep. And Telri is just sitting on his fancy cushions, just enjoying his life as a king. And we learn that Hrathen is still going to visit him every day. It is still like turned away and has to wait for hours before he can actually see him. So tough for everybody.
Don't you find that odd? Like, why isn't Hrathen coming in kamikaze, like round kick house style?
I guess it's
busting heads. Because it's like he's strong enough. He has the political position.
Yeah. I wonder if, because there's somewhere in one of these chapters where Hrathen thinks something like, oh, well, like Telri will only be a halfway convert, like he won't actually believe anything, and like none of the nobility will either, so I might just need to give the Wern like a bunch of half converted people, and hopefully that's enough. So I wonder if he's really trying to get people to actually convert, and if that would kind of be a turnoff if he went in every day and like roundhouse kicked everybody.
I think that would be a turn on because from how they talk about these people, they're just like a bunch of just like mindless, just whatever. I guess maybe not mindless is the right word, but just very like tranquil, peaceful people that just want to have parties. And they don't realize that like death is coming to them. So I think if he came in and was like, it's about to happen, tax day is coming, and I'm going to do a couple roundhouse kicks and I'm going to show you what leadership looks like. I think people would fall in line. I don't know.
They might. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, my thought is that he's still trying to keep his cover of like nice, peaceful priest.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, okay, actually, no. Okay, yeah. So as they're talking about Tellery, Sarene is like, it's kind of weird that Tellery hasn't converted yet.
Right.
And my prediction when I heard that was, and honestly, this isn't much of a prediction because we kind of already know it, is that kind of going on with your theme of people acting as people expect them to, or defying expectations, that Tellery is acting like people expect him to, which is very silly and materialistic and like all focused on wealth. But he actually has a very well thought out plan of what he's going to do. And it seemed kind of spontaneous, I guess, when he went immediately to the Wern. But I feel like he has something pretty crafty up his sleeve that we don't know about.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Is that he's probably putting on a little bit of a show. And maybe, he doesn't want people to think anything bad's going to happen because he just wants to keep everyone calm, cool, and collected while he tries to negotiate for extra power.
Yeah, that could be it. Okay, and then speaking of calm, cool, and collected, we learn that Hrathen is drafting this bill that would incarcerate anyone who doesn't convert. And this makes Sarene think, and she's like, oh man, I think the Dorothi priests are going to come into Arelon, and they're going to force everyone to convert, and they're going to incarcerate anyone who opposes. And she's like, and honestly, I'll probably be executed along with the rest of the boys' club. But she's saying this as if it doesn't matter, like just so calmly. Did you pick up on that? Is that what you thought?
So I did read that, and now that you're pointing it out to me, the first thing I think of is I'm like, the boys' club ain't getting executed. They're like, so Sarene's gonna be, she's gonna be party of one. The rest of them are gonna say, what? I can die or I can live and still be a noble and just pretend to have this religion. Okay. They've basically all said that before. Like Sarene is,
that's true.
In terms of like zealot and obstinate, she's the most resistant. Even her dad is falling in line. I don't think that the boys' club would hang with her. I think she would be the only one. Her and Omen.
Yeah, that's true. Omen for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, she does seem just very like
nonchalant. Well,
this is where it's going. I can't live in Elantris anymore. So she might be at a point where she's like, I almost don't even care anymore. It is what it is. I've done all I could.
Yeah. She's like, nothing in my life is turning out.
Yeah.
So
still single.
Yeah. Sad. Okay. But then as she's thinking about this, she's like, okay, I see the writing on the wall and like things are getting ugly real quick and the Dorothi priests are going to come storming in here. But she mentions that all of her allies are moving so slowly because they're like, this could never happen in Arelon.
Yeah. So we see like the boys club being like, Tellery would never do this. And then we find out that there's similar sentiments about Iadon, where they were just maybe a little too trusting or had, I don't know, too much history. And they thought this person would never do that to me. And it kind of blows up in their face.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah. It was also interesting. This is a side note, but I was reading this book about Bonhoeffer, who's a theologian during World War II in Germany. And yeah, it's okay if you've never heard of him, but it's so interesting because he was against the Nazis from the beginning and was like, guys, this is bad. We got to stop it. But all the other religious people were like, they're not that bad. Because at the time, they maybe didn't seem that bad. But Bonhoeffer was like, no, we got to stop them. But anyways, he never could like rally the support that he needed to actually get the force to stop the Nazis. And, you know.
Did he die?
He did actually. So he was arrested. I don't know how long he was in camp for, but he ended up being executed like a few days before the war ended. Just super sad.
That is a bummer.
Yeah, but he was a big part in like getting the church together to fight against the Nazis and like wrote stuff from prison too.
Well, maybe that's what Serene's thinking, that she's kind of like, I'm gonna go out with a ball of light. And maybe this can inspire someone else to, take up the fight, even if she's gone.
Yeah. She's like, I can only do what I can do. And that's it.
But both her and Raoden had kind of been generally apathetic to their fates in a way. Yeah. Like where Raoden's kind of like, before he figured out the chasm, he was like, the Aendor's gonna kill me. I'm not gonna make it. Blah, 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 blah. Sarene had kind of had a similar conclusion when she was talking with her dad, and he was like, we've converted, and she's like, we're never gonna convert, and he's like, you're not gonna make it, and then she's like, well, that's what it's gonna be. So
yeah, that's interesting. Which maybe could go back to the purpose thing of they're just content with what their purpose is, even if it's not what they had planned. So they're like, oh, this is the path for me.
Yeah.
Gonna do it.
So moving right along, now Sarene, now that she has this insight, she's been staying at Royal's place because she can't live in the castle anymore. And she had been surprised when the knitting circle ladies were like, we still want to practice fencing. And so now we're at the place where they're all practicing fencing.
Yes. Yeah. So she goes there and she likes to think while she fences. And so we got a few interesting thoughts here. One of them is that Sarene is just thinking about Elantris, and she's like, man, I miss being there, because it was the one place where she had felt unconditional acceptance. And it says, she had not been a princess. She had been something far better, a member of a community where every individual was vital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that made me sad.
Sweet.
I had also underlined about in regards to the fencing women. She was like, she liked these women, even if she could never be one of them. So I think she has had throughout the book a very low opinion of these women, thinking that they're not X, Y, or Z. But then she's seeing when times are really tough and other people are maybe being kind of okay with status quo, she's seeing that the women are still practicing and trying to better themselves and trying to learn this new skill. I don't really know what it does to benefit them, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, exercise makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Also,
they're committed. Mm-hmm. They're committed to their fitness, even when the world is ending. And she admires that.
You get on your Peloton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be that they're not able to do much else in their life. They don't have a lot of power. And this is somewhere where they feel powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. The other important thing is that Sarene is still wearing her new wig. Let's not forget. She still has Carmelita Spatz child-sized wig that they whipped up for her.
Yeah, no one comments on it, which I'm kind of surprised by. I guess they're kind of scared of Sarene. So,
yeah. Or maybe they just feel bad for her. They don't want her to be like, oh, you look ugly. And she's like, yeah, I know. Right? So.
And I'm unmarried.
Yeah. So the next line that I highlighted just after where Sarene was talking about every individual being vital in Elantris.
Mm-hmm.
She says, there in the center of the most cursed city in the world, Spirit had constructed a society that exemplified Karathi teachings. The church taught of the blessings of unity. It was ironic that only the people who practiced such ideals were those who had been damned. So it's interesting because New Elantris is in the Karathi church.
Right.
of Elantris. And we've been talking about this whole time how Spirit's been creating his new society and how I don't think he came with the intention of being like, let's be unified or X, Y, and Z, or let's follow Karathi teachings. I don't think he ever had that in his mind, but it seems that those core ideals are within him. And so he was able to create a society that exemplifies that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is interesting because it gives a picture of, if Aiden wasn't there, what would Raoden have done as a leader? And maybe it would be something like this. And it's also interesting thinking about that idea of truth. If, like in this world, the Karathi teachings are, the most true or whatever, that the truth is still true even in Elantris, where it's like this is the best way to live, and then Raoden, without even realizing it, he's like, I think this is the best way to do this, and then it works great.
Yeah. Well, okay, so to push back on that is you have Tiad, which is Karathi, you had Arlon, which is Karathi, and then you have Frathan's country, which is Dureth.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel like Dureth is bad because they're coming in and doing all of this conquest. But I think we have already sussed out that Frathan's religion has already been tainted, as we know from the library, where they had altered their history to make it seem like they needed to do all of this conquest. And then we also know that the leadership within that religion is making a lot of concessions on things that they say that they don't believe. So that there's like a lot of corruption there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if you had the real religion at its core, it would be good too.
That's a good point. Right. It's just been so tainted.
It's been tainted.
Yeah.
And then with Arlon, it's not like Arlon's so great. They have that religion, but they weren't really following it. I would say that had been tainted. And we don't know about Tiad. It sounds like it's pretty good. But yeah, so anyway, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. Things to simmer on. But yeah, I had underlined that too.
Yeah.
It's a good line. And then soon after that, Sarene is like still, fencing and thinking about all these things, thinking about being accepted. And it says that she had spent her adult life in an unending quest to find acceptance and love. Which, does that mean she was trying to be married? Or just in general accepted and loved? Or is she trying to be married so that she's accepted and loved?
I think she has this weird perception that if she's married, she will be guaranteed acceptance and love.
Right.
Which is not true.
That's how I took it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why she's so obsessed with it. Even when she's in the sewer crawling through poop, she's still thinking about it.
Poor Sarene. Which I do appreciate how Sanderson is like, she's trying to find this thing and she found it, but not in marriage. She found it in community.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. So Sarene's practicing, and all of a sudden, someone shows up. He was dressed in fine blue and green silks, a feathered hat on his head, creamy brown skin of a Duladin aristocrat. His features were round and happy, and he had a foppish, unconcerned air. Duladin indeed. And this guy just rolls up into Royal's garden, and everyone's like, who is this?
So handsome. Yeah, they use that word foppish like a lot in the next few chapters. I didn't know that was a word.
Let's Google that, because I kept seeing that and I was like, I know what he means.
Right.
Context clues.
It sounds like what it means. Oh wow, foppish.
That's not what I thought it meant. Okay, what did you think it meant?
I just kind of thought of it as floppish. Like he had that. Because he had a foppish, unconcerned air, like kind of floppy, just kind of like all over the place.
I was getting that image too, of someone just being very like loosey-goosey silly.
That makes total sense.
Okay, no, but go ahead, read the definition.
Okay, so it actually means concerned with one's clothes and appearance in an affected and excessive way, typically used of a man. Wow, that's like spot on. I didn't know that
That
word
is.
existed.
Yeah. So it says similar as dandy, dandyish. Like he's a dandy.
Yeah, I've never actually used that word either.
That he's a dandy?
Maybe I have. I wouldn't have known that it meant exactly that either, though.
Oh.
I guess I would think of dandy as a little more like, I don't know, maybe flamboyant or maybe just like feminine or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, dandyish means affecting extreme elegance in style and manner, in dress and manner.
Oh.
So they both have to do with like dress specifically,
Yeah.
which isn't what I had associated them with.
Now there is an obsolete term for foppish, which means foolish and silly.
This is the spot on word to use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job,
So
Sanderson. Where did you
yeah,
learn this?
good on Sanderson that he's like every definition of the word throughout time is relevant.
They all work.
Yes.
When you want to choose, even the like onomatopoeia of being floppy.
Yes, all of it. Every single thing. That's it. So this foppish man, his name is Kalu, and he just rolls up into the garden, and the women see him, and they are just about to pass out because a new man is in town. And Serene's like, "Who is this guy?" And she's not happy.
Yeah, he comes and he's like wooing all the ladies, and she's like, "What?" And Serene tries to come in and is like, "Who are you?" Um,
All right, so I have a cringe or cute.
oh, go for it.
All right, so this is when Kalu and Serene are meeting. Ah, Kalu said, bowing ornately. This must be the Princess Serene. They say you are the most fair woman in all of Opalon. Keep in mind she has her Carmelita Spatz wig on. And she's sweating from her fencing. You should not believe all the things that people say, my lord. Serene replied slowly. No, he agreed, looking up into her eyes. Only the ones that are true.
If it weren't Raoden, it'd be cringe. But since it's Raoden and I know the backstory, I think it's cute.
I was like, cringe.
Even though you know it's Raoden?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also acting a point. He's trying to be outrageous.
I know, but I'm just like, oh my God, this is just so unbelievable. This guy rolls in with his floppy hat and then he goes straight to Serene with her wig and she's sweating and he's like the most beautiful woman in all the land. And Serene says that no one has said that about her. So I don't know where he got this rumor from.
It's on all the tabloids everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Royal said that she was pretty, right? Because she had said something like, "Oh, no one likes me," and Royal was like, "You sell yourself so short. You're great. You're beautiful."
I mean, that is true. Maybe she's like unreliable narrator.
I think so.
But I feel like if the trope was that she was the most beautiful person in the whole country area, that she would have heard that rumor before and been like, that's ridiculous. Or something.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
went up to her and said, "Oh, Princess Serene, they say you're the most intolerable woman in all of Aslan."
She'd be like, you're darn right. I work hard for that reputation. Not easy.
That word's getting around. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, I had a question. What does Kalu mean? Do you know where that name came from? Because there's no aeons that go with it.
Well, it's Duladin, so there wouldn't be an Aeon.
Oh.
And I Googled Kalu because I'm like, I bet Sanderson got this from somewhere. And I don't know where he got it from.
Oh, really? Is there not
There's
like a Gila religion or language?
There might be, but I don't know. I don't know what it would be. The only thing I could think with Duladin is that you probably have like double letters, like Galadin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Kalu, the double O. But I Googled just what Kalu is and nothing came up. Like, I mean, stuff came up, but it was not relevant
Yeah.
to us.
Okay. Kind of sounds like kazoo, which is also an outrageous instrument.
I was thinking Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Yeah, it does sound like that. He's pretty foppish, according to
And
the first definition.
yeah, so when I'm like imagining him, I'm thinking of Baloo and he's like dancing around and he's kind of like this big, like floppy bear. That's how I've been imagining him.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's how I want to imagine him now too.
Okay. Yeah, good. You can now.
Okay, so Sarene is like, this guy is unbelievable. And she says that this Kalu was like a cliche that shouldn't exist, a living representation of the idealized Duladin noble. And this kind of fits in with that theme of people acting like they're expecting that, like they're expected to. And so he's acting like an outrageous Duladel noble. I thought it was also interesting because I feel like Raoden's probably asked Galadin, like, hey, how did Duladel nobles act? And Galadin was like, just like this.
Yeah.
And he was like a farmer and had like a terrible opinion of all the aristocrats in the in Duladel. And now Raoden is like this caricature of
Yes, that's exactly, I think, what happened. And I will say we've been dogging on Sarene for the first 500 pages, but she really accelerates in terms of likability to me.
Yeah, I thought so too. Everything she's doing, I'm like, yeah, good move.
Yeah, because like she's like everyone's just like, oh yeah, here's this guy, like he's totally fine, normal, and she's like, you guys are being insane, and everyone's like, you're crazy. You're like, Serene's the only one with any sense here.
Yeah, honestly, true. But I think even Sanderson mentioned this of like everything was just in such chaos. People were wanting anything to distract them and to like bring some sense of like maybe not normalcy, but anything
Distraction.
than reality.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a line that made me laugh. So everyone's at Royal's house and they're doing the fencing and Kalu's there. And so Royal starts coming up. So they were like, why are you here? And they said, why is Kalu here? And Kalu's like, I had heard of the illustrious Duke Royal and decided to pay him a visit. How surprised I was to find all these lovelies in his gardens. Gag. Sarene snorted, but her rebuttal was interrupted by the arrival of Duke Royal. This is what made me laugh. Apparently, the old man had finally realized that his property had been invaded by a roving doula. I just thought it was funny imagining, because I'm imagining how it's like this big bear and he's just like with his floppy hat and he's just like all around his garden, and Royal's just this old man and he's just having tea or whatever, and he's just like, what's going on here? And he like kind of like stumbles over.
Waddles out.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Where'd you get that floppy hat?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Royal comes up and Royal it doesn't say that he's skeptical. It does say that Royal is just kind of like smiling and nodding along with all of Kalu's stories. I feel like he's just trying to figure him out.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also find out that Sarene does have some predisposition to not like Duladens. Because Sarene says, I don't like him, Sarene declared quietly to Ash. Of course not, my lady. You never have gotten along very well with the Duladen aristocrats.
Oh, okay.
So she's coming in being like, I already hate your guts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's still trying to parse them out. And then in order to like suss him out really quickly, she's like, she thinks he's a fraud. So she's like, well, let's do a bout of fencing because the Duladen aristocrats are really good at fencing. And I thought that was very smart.
I know. I thought that was super clever too. I was like, good move, Sarene. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she challenges him and he's like, what? Me? And she's like, yeah, you. And then she pulls out the fencing swords and she grabs the real ones, not the practice ones. So these ones are actually sharp.
Yes.
She's like, I'm going to make him pay for his lies.
Yes. And So poor Kalu in his Elantrian body with no muscle mass and is trying desperately not to get hit. And Sarene is just going full force
He doesn't eat
after
in like a
him.
month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but Kalu slash Raoden actually does a pretty good job defending himself.
Mm-hmm.
But she eventually gets him into a corner and he's like has to get out of it somehow. And then Kalu has a really clever way of getting out of things.
Yes.
I okay, this is another cringe or cute thing. So Kalu was like on this fountain, and the only way out was to jump out of the fountain. And then he goes down on one knee and he holds up a yellow flower to Sarene and he says, "Ah, my lady, you have found my secret. Never have I been able to face a beautiful woman in combat. My heart melts, my knees shake, and my sword refuses to strike." And then he offers her the flower. So he's like, oh, "I couldn't fight you. You're too beautiful."
That was okay. So that part I was kind of okay with. The part that made me cringe was the collected women behind him sighed dreamily. The fact that anyone believed that, I was just like, oh my God.
Well, the fact that they believed him to begin with, I think, is really the outrageous thing. And then
I
this one
might,
is more believable than him just coming out of nowhere.
I might be changing my tune about Sarene because now I'm like, these women are just little airheads who just believe anything that comes in and are just easily swept off their feet by ridiculousness.
Yeah, maybe there has been some truth in her past 500 pages.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. I'm not going to recall the 15 hours that we've already spoken
We
about
can't
her.
do them.
We can't go back. We can go forward. So, one plot point is that Sarene does nick Raoden in the cheek, and she's like, "I thought I got him, but there was no blood or anything," and that's because Kalu has this
Mask.
mask. I was going to say veneer. No, he has this illusion up, so you can't see that, and then there's no blood or anything because he's a Lantrian anyway.
Right. So then she's like, "Oh, guess I didn't."
Mm-hmm.
We find out she infected.
Okay, last cringer cute. As he left, Kalu looked back at her, Sarene, and smiled. Not the silly, foppish smile he had used before, but a more knowing, sly smile. A smile she had found strikingly familiar for some reason. He performed one of his ridiculous bows, then allowed himself to be led away. So do you think that's his like little sly smile? Cringe or cute?
I think that's cute.
I thought that was cute too. I would fall for that.
Even with your floppy hat.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, okay. I know he's a liar and he knows he's a liar. And now we both know it. And now I'm into it.
Yeah, it's like you have your little secret now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, last note here, unless you have any more.
Nope.
The chapter is called Tay, which means open. How does it relate?
She cut him open. What do you think?
I think that's a great interpretation. My first thought was that Sarene is becoming more open to Raoden.
I think Sarene's becoming more open to herself.
Oh, that could be it.
Which therefore she's able to be more open to everyone else. Yeah. And I think that's why we're probably liking Sarene more.
Yeah, that's a good point.
To your point, it's like she's not putting up these walls and being annoying. That was our thing that we always found so annoying about her.
Yeah.
She's just being very honest and feeling her feelings. And I like that.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, her whole like inner monologue with when she was fencing and like thinking all of her thoughts, that was really good. I think you're exactly right. Yeah, we're getting a more honest view of Sarene now.
Yeah. Pretty good. And so now we like her.
Now we like her. That's all we needed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It only took 500 pages to get there.
But we made it.
Oh my gosh, girl.
Okay, the next, oh gosh.
We're not going to make it.
Finish. Bummer. Gosh, I really thought we would this time.
I thought so too.
What about the next two? Do you think we could do the next two? Okay, what if we go through real quick? and we could do all of them.
Yeah. All right. We'll blast it out. This is gonna be, you didn't even know it. This is gonna be super speed bookalicious. We just hit hyperdrive. We're cutting all of our notes into a third.
Or maybe we'll just not even look at our notes. We'll just go from memory.
We'll just go from memory. Yes.
Okay, super speed. Chapter 51, last chapter in Tay or Open from Harathan's perspective. And Harathan is walking through this market. We didn't mention this, but all the Durethi people are here trying to sell their wares and no one's coming because everyone's like, the world's ending. This is weird. Anyways, but Harathan is there trying to bring normalcy and trying to pretend like everything isn't in shambles. And then he sees a Durethi figure swoop into a tent, but all the Durethi Artiths are supposed to be in prayer. And he's like, that's weird. And then he follows the Artith in and he realizes it's Delof. And then Delof delivers some truth bombs to him, such as, your plan is failing and actually my plan is winning. Bye.
Yes. Yes. So my first note is that Harathan seems surprised that the Wern wasn't so upset about Talri sending him a private message. Why do you think that is?
I hadn't thought about that, but now that you ask it, I wonder if it's because the Wern thought that Harathan wasn't capable.
Mm-hmm.
So he was kind of seeing it coming.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Oh, poor Harathan.
I know. Because Harathan in the previous chapter, he was on a high. He was like, I did it. He's snapping. He's like, things are working out for me. And then it's like the whole time, it's like the Wern's like, Harathan's just a bumbling fool.
Yeah. So foppish.
So foppish.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So what Delof says, he says, it has all slipped away, hasn't it, Harathan? Being like his plans and his success. My, being Delof, victory is so sweet in the face of your failure.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what is Delof? And then shortly after that, when Harathan's thinking back to that, he's like, Delof is a Sfrakis, which is his religion's like evil demons.
Oh, okay.
Remember they were trying to paint the Elantrians as that?
Wait, what's a Sfrakis?
It's a demon in their religion.
Isn't that like the different monasteries? Like some became assassins and some became demons, or no?
So okay. So there is the monastery where Harathan went to, and he said that they turned them into quote unquote demons. Okay. That's one thing. Then there's this thing called a Sfrakis, and it's basically like an evil thing. And so when Delof was doing his murder dance and lighting the Elantrian on fire, he was like saying that the Elantrians were like the Sfrakis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so now we have Harathan, and in his inner monologue, he's like, Delof is this horrible thing to me.
Oh, very interesting.
Okay, so now with all of that, what do you think Delof's plan is?
Okay.
Or what do you think Delof is doing?
Well, I'm going to fit this into my theory from earlier that Delof is from Duladel, and he was one of the people in Harathan's first plan who like made it out and was like, this was awful, and like really saw the horrificness of all of that Harathan did, that he's coming back to show Harathan how terrible it is. And I think that's interesting how you just explained things, because I think part of what Delof is saying maybe is that evil could maybe not be relative, or okay, maybe Delof is trying to show that who the hero and who the villain is in the story depends on your perspective.
Because interesting.
Yeah, because Harathan thinks he's the hero, but Delof is like, no, you're the villain.
Interesting.
I think that's
a good thought. But yeah, so Delof really cuts Harathan to size because he wants to know. So like it ends the chapter. Delof, Harathan asked in a voice far too soft for the artist to hear. What victory? So he wanted to ask that question and be bold, but he couldn't because he was just so cut down.
Aww.
And so, yeah, Harathan's in bad straits.
Yeah, he really crashed after his big high.
Yeah. That's all I had.
Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I had too. So my question for you is, this chapter is also called Tay, which means open. What does it mean?
Hmm. I think the first thing that came to mind is that maybe the mystery surrounding Delof is unveiling.
Mm,
Like we see, finally, we have confirmation that Delof and Hrathen are not on the same side.
yeah.
And Delof is basically saying that. So that could be one. Um, the other thing that came to mind is maybe somehow tying into how Hrathen was on that high and now he's on a low. I don't know how that ties into open though. What do you think?
Ooh. I think I thought the same thing you did. I thought it was either Dielhoff is opening his plan to Harathan or that Harathan's failure has been cracked open, which I think is what you're
Oh,
getting at.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree.
So poor Harathan.
I know. All right, let's blast through 52.
We did great. Okay, chapter 52. All right, new chapter title. This one means Shio or Sheo. Do you know
Okay.
what that means?
No.
It means death. Whoa.
Oh
Okay,
God.
I know. What good foreshadowing. And it's interesting because if you look in the back, this is I think it's the only Aeon that isn't associated with someone's name or with a place. So no one's
Oh.
called Death, which I guess is good. Actually, no, there's another one that isn't associated with, there's a few that aren't associated with some names. Okay, but either way, Death has never
Mm-hmm.
been used before. So significant. Okay.
Interesting.
Summary of this, it's from Raoden's perspective. Galadin and Raoden are staying in Royal's house because they got the invite, and Royal invites them to the treason meeting.
Yes.
Those are the big
Mm-hmm.
things. Okay, so in the beginning, we see Raoden and Galadin, they're hanging out in their like little abode in Harathan's house, and all the doors are locked because they're trying to fix Raoden's messed up face after Sarene slashed it open and
Mm-hmm.
they had to take off his cover. So we learned that the cover he can like take it off and on or like turn on and off the magic almost. He
Mm-hmm.
just needs to redraw it exactly as he did before. And that it's targeting his shirt. So even if he's wearing something over his shirt, his mask is still on.
Yes. Yes. So that is all correct. And then the only people who can take off his illusion is another Elantrian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So even if you like, he talked about, oh, if you draw the Aeon in the dirt and then the magic gets activated, it doesn't get deactivated if the dirt gets wiped away.
That's right.
It has to be done by an Elantrian.
So like an Elantrian has to draw something else, or an Elantrian has to wipe the dirt.
An Elantrian has to do something to deactivate it. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe they have to touch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they explained it
Yeah, not super
exactly.
clear. But Raoden and Galadin are the only ones who know about this, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it won't come up.
Yes. And so Royal is very intrigued with this Clue personality.
Yeah.
He does mention that. Okay, so I know we're supposed to go super fast, but my first note is on the first page. But I do think it's important. So basically, when Galadin and Raoden are like talking after the fencing fight, Galadin's like, "Hey, you fence pretty well." And so the quote, I had Eondel teach me. Eondel, as we remember, is the guy who always has his sword at his hip, very loyal, and he's the one that was with Sarene, and he cut open I think Iodin. No, not Iodin. When they were doing the sacrifice.
Oh,
Jumped in and was like killing people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I had Eondel teach me, Raoden said, back when I was trying to find ways to prove that my father's laws were foolish. Eondel chose fencing because he thought it would be most useful to me as a politician. I never figured I'd end up using it to keep my wife from slicing me to pieces. So I found it interesting that the fencing comes up again because Sarene was teaching the ladies how to fence for the same reason.
Oh, you're right. I hadn't made that connection.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting
Yeah,
how Sanderson kind of tied that together.
right. How would him learning how to fence show that his father's laws were foolish, though?
Well, unfortunately, I feel like Sanderson never really explains that part.
He's like, this would be a nice parallel.
Yeah, I feel like he's tying it together, but he's not explaining it why. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And his publisher said, you don't have enough room for this. Cut it out. He said, oh, fine.
Yeah, so we don't know. We'll check back in the notes, and if we find anything good, we'll circle back.
Yeah, stay tuned for Elantris 2.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so they're chatting. We also learn that Raoden wants to tell Sarene who he really is, but he hasn't had a chance to talk with her alone.
Mm-hmm.
But he did try sending her a letter, and she
Mm-hmm.
returned it unopened.
I was like, that's boss move.
Laugh. I know.
I love that. I was like, good.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh my gosh, what a move.
So I thought that too, but then I'm like, I wrote, why does he tell Ash? Ash is coming into Elantris every single day.
Well, I thought he wanted to tell her that he's Spirit, and maybe also that he's Raoden. But
I know
first,
he's in like double subterfuge right now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got a lot of disguises going on. But at this moment, Ash isn't going to him, I don't think, right?
Ash goes to Elantris every single day,
But he's not
been able to speak to Raoden because Raoden's been out and about being Kalu, so Ash probably can't even find him.
Oh, yeah.
But he's there with Karada, who's stitching him up, right?
No, Galadin's stitching him up, and he's not doing as good of a job as Karada.
Oh, okay. But even still, like before he left, he could have said, hey, someone, tell Sarene that I'm going to be showing up as a foppish man named Kalu, and it's me. Like, that's all he has to
do. I guess he doesn't want it getting in the wrong hands, maybe. I mean, when you're going to go in disguise to commit treason, you generally don't want to tell people.
Okay, but all your Lantrian people are locked up. To me, I was just like, all right. This was one of my parts with Raoden where I was like, you are annoying. You're making this more difficult than it needs to be.
Maybe. I mean, I could see why he wouldn't tell her. I don't see why he didn't tell her in Elantris that he was Raoden. Although now that I could see his plan maybe wouldn't work as well right now if Sarene knew that he was Raoden, you know? Maybe it's better for him to be actually undercover and no one know.
No, I think Sarene would be able to play the part.
Yeah, honestly, you're right.
Yeah. This is where Raoden goes down the ranks and Sarene is climbing.
Yeah, this is a weird time.
Yes, it is a weird time.
Never thought would come.
I agree.
All right. Yeah, Galadin has a funny line here. We don't need to talk about it because we're going speed. But Raoden says, why is it that every time I meet her, Sarene is determined to hate me? And Galadin says, must be love.
I'm glad you said that because I too underlined that and I wanted to talk about it, even though we're going super speed.
Do you want to say anything?
No, I just love that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it was funny.
And then we find out how they have lots of money. Royal comes in and Royal says, hey, you gave me all of those large lamp mounts and I sold them. They're made out of gold. And then Royal's trying to suss out Raoden. He's like, where did you get them? And then Raoden says, family heirlooms. I pried them off our mansion walls even as the people burned it down when he was in Duladel.
Whoa.
So that was ridiculous again to me, imagining you're in a mansion, you have a mob outside, and you're there with a power drill uninstalling all of your gold lamp mounts, and then you put them in, I don't know, wheelbarrow and you run out. Safe. So,
oh my God.
Okay.
I feel like with him, though, we just need to assume that every story has hyperbole because that's just how Kalu is. You know, and everyone.
I guess that's a good point.
Sure, fine. You're stretching the truth, but like that's the general gist of what happens. But it's enough for Royal to be like, wow, you have an insider scoop on what it's like to be overtaken by Dorethi, and we need your insight. Come to our treason meeting.
Yes.
And that's the part where I was like, what? This is why their treason meeting, like why they had so many people who weren't loyal, because they invited people like this.
They just let anyone in off the streets. Royal's known him for 2 days. And I thought the same thing. I was like, that's ridiculous. The other part of me thought, well, they really have no options.
Right. What are they going to lose?
They're at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, so what can it hurt? But yeah, that was the last unbelievable part, is that Royal's like, come on into the treason meeting.
Yeah. Although Raoden has a good thought here, because he and Galadin are talking about this. And he says that Royal sees through facades, but instead of asking, why is this man trying to fool me? Like how Sarene asks, Royal asks, how can I make use of what he knows?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, Royal and Sarene are pretty good foils for each other. Maybe they would have gotten well as married people.
I kind of feel like they would have been a good couple.
You know, they might have been.
Yeah.
If 50 years wasn't separating them.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, we didn't make it to our goal. We're at chapter 53. And I think we should just do a mini episode next time and just do 53, 54. Maybe we can hit it on Wednesday or something.
We can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been good.
Yeah, we made it through 4.
We made it through 4. We really had to squeeze out those last 2. Did it in 2 hours. I'm proud of us.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not
all
like
right.
the half course where the first half was really detailed. The second half was a stick figure.
Maybe we should make that the cover art for this episode.
For this episode?
Just this one episode.
That'd be so funny. I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. All right, girl. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bookalicious. If you like this discussion, please rate or subscribe to our channel to help other book lovers find this content as well. If you have any questions or suggestions for future books, we'd love to hear from you at bookalicious.pod@gmail.com. As always, thanks for joining our club.